Pet Sematary. I don't wanna live my life again. I don't wanna live in a pet cemetery. I don't wanna live my life again. Oh shit, we're on. Oh, fuck, sorry you had to hear that. Hey everyone, P. Rich from Hatchet Boys. Tonight we're gonna do a review on Pet Sematary 1989, directed by Mary Lambert, adapted by the 1983 Stephen King novel. So, Stephen King wrote the screenplay for this movie. He basically, he wanted it like kept pretty faithful to the novel. So there isn't really a whole lot of differences in between the novel and this film, which I liked because that book is scary as hell, and the movie, like, I'll get into my first impressions after, but yeah. So basically, the synopsis to this movie is Dr. Lewis Creed, played by Dale Midkiff, moves his family to Maine from Boston, where he makes a friendly local named Judd Curdell, played by Fred Gwynne. Yeah, I'll get into Fred Gwynne, but he basically makes this whole fucking movie. Such an awesome actor. Yeah, so after the Creed's family's cat, Church, gets run over by a truck, like a 18-wheeler truck. They live like right off the highway, so there's trucks always like going fast as fuck on that highway. So the cat gets run over, and Judd tells Lewis to bury it in the ground near the old pet cemetery. The cat returns to life. Its personality has changed for the worst. Little bastard. When Lewis's son, Gage, played by Miko Hughes, known for his roles, in Kindergarten Cop, and that little boy that says, boys have penises, girls have vaginas. That little kid. But anyways, I'll get into that after when I do the characters. So yeah, when Gage dies, Lewis takes it really hard, and he's like, "Well, if I buried Ellie's cat, Ellie's cat, Church, and it came back to life. I mean, who's to say how Gage would come back, right?" So he was pretty messed up all about that. So he ends up not listening to Judd or Pascal. Pascal is the man who Lewis tries to save his life, but he can't save his life, so he ends up dying. But he sees Victor Pascal's ghost, and he always warns Lewis not to bury anything in the Indian burial ground. So yeah, I fucking love this movie. My first impression when I watched Pet Sematary, I was 8 years old and scared the living fucking shit out of me. I couldn't keep my eyes off the screen though, but I was fucking scared. And even the opening to this movie, that eerie fucking music, and the score for this film is by Elliot Goldenthal, and his score for this music is compared to Amity Horror, which I agree 100%. It does sound like Amity Horror music. when you watch that the original film, and they compare it to The Exorcist, but maybe a little resemblance to it, but I don't really see a whole lot of resemblance there with Exorcist score. Uh, but yeah, definitely Amity horror. Zelda. Oh man, like Rachel's sister Zelda scared the fucking living shit out of me, man. Like still to this day, man. Her and Reagan from The Exorcist, like, give me the fucking creeps, man. Like those are the only two movies that ever like really scared the shit out of me. But anyways, yeah, those were my first impressions for this movie, and I watch this movie time to time, and I fucking love it, man. And yeah, I'll watch Pet Sematary too. I'll get into the remake. So, uh, with the characters, yeah. Lewis, uh, he was a good character. I liked Lewis until he starts getting all fucked up. Um, See, with the book, the differences between the novel and this book, Judd had a wife named Norma, and they become real good friends with the Creed family. And then once Norma's death happens, instead of what's her name, the housekeeper in the movie, Missy, how depressed and all that, and she hangs herself. They put her instead of Norma in this film. But anyways, it still works. Didn't take me out of it or anything. Yeah, so yeah, when Norma's death happens, it's an introduction to Ellie's, Lewis and Rachel's first kid, Ellie. Um, Introduction to death and how she deals with death. Like, what, she's only 8, I think. Um, yeah, and one other difference from the novel to this movie, when Lewis has to grieve over Gage's death, they make in the novel they make it um, like he's gone psychologically all fucked up in the head, and they just Stephen King just goes in so much detail about that, and I wish they would have adapted that more into the movie. Like in the movie, you kind of know he's going crazy after Gage's death, right? Like, yeah, so I wish they would have adapted more to that into the film, and the backstory, a little bit more of the Indian burial ground, the Micmac. Um, whole thing with the Wendigo spirit. Like, that's basically what this movie is. It's like the Wendigo spirit. You bury them up in the Indian burial ground, and the Wendigo spirit touches like the deceased. It will take their spirit over. So it gives them the hunger of human flesh, like almost like a zombie, right? Yeah, this movie, basically like a zombie movie. You could classify it as a zombie movie, right? Um, yeah, so I'll just get into some of these parts here, of the movie. When Judd uh, was talking about his dog Spot when he had a berry Spot, and he's talking to Lewis about just like when you bury them up in the Indian burial ground, and how his dog Spot came back all like vicious and rabid and shit. When I was a kid, that fucking like really fucked with me too. And then he just mentions about like when they buried that woman's son up there and he came back and he's like a fucking cannibal, like eating everybody and just like his face and like the special effects was really done in this movie, I think. But just how he's like eating that person's leg and then they had torch the house with him in it and that story was and just like how the details Fred Gwen goes into it. Like I said earlier, he makes this fucking movie, man. Fred Gwen, and yeah, that part always freaked me out. And so yeah, it's it's not like too slow of a movie, but I mean, yeah. And with Victor, what's his name? Pascal, yeah. They did a really good job on him. Like his, like the look of him when he's dead, and you see his spirit, like the dead spirit. Great special effects for that. Like, yeah, and so when Gage dies and Lewis gets all fucked up and Rachel and Ellie go over, yeah, over to her parents and Lewis is home and buries up Gage's body and takes it and buries up in the Indian burial ground past the Pet Cemetery. And Gage comes back like, oh man, it's creepy. It's fucking creepy. And uh, yeah, Judd hears Gage and he's like, oh fuck. Or he notices the footprints. When he knows Lewis buried him, he's like, oh fuck. So he like gets out a knife and he's like, yeah, trying to find Gage to kill him because he knows like he's gonna try to kill Judd and eat him. Like he knows, right? And so he's looking for him. He's like playing hide and seek, fucking Gage. And then his little laugh. It's kind of creepy, but like cute, but creepy. And then he like looks under the bed, and Gage comes out on the side and just cuts through his ankle, like slices right to the bone, and like, oh man, that always stuck with me. His kill was pretty brutal. Um, if I had to rate his kill all along, man, out of like 10, it's a fucking 9 for me. Like, just awesome fucking kill. And then yeah, after he saws like his ankle right to the bone, then he's like turns over and then you see Gage like with this scalpel, uh, and then he slices his mouth right across, and then he starts eating his throat. Like, oh man, that was fucked up. And yeah, I'll get into like the special effects after when I'm talking about all that. And then you see Church like licking his lips, like he wants in on it too. I'm pretty sure the cat does jump down and start eating Judd too. Now the thing that I always question about this movie, I was like, because when Lewis wakes up and he notices the footprints and then basically tracks them right to Judd's house. Um, the thing about that, um, and when he's going through Judd's house and it's all messed up, like the spirit's fucking with Lewis's mind, right? And then when he goes upstairs and he's looking, No, yeah. Well, like the Rachel comes home first, right? Yeah, Rachel comes home first, and here's Gage laugh. Yeah, here's his laugh, and then she's like, Gage, what the hell? Over at Judd's house. So she goes and sees, and then the spirit's like fucking with her, like, and then she like goes to grab Gage to pick him up, and then he must like stab her in the eye or something. But anyways, yeah. So when Lewis is wakes up and he goes over to Judd's house and he's looking for Gage, and the thing always got to me. It's like, how the fuck did Gage lift Rachel's body all the way up in the attic? But it was great scare though, man. Like, I know I'm like, it's just a movie, like, like it didn't completely take me out of the movie ever. But I just always questioned this. I always kind of thought it was kind of funny, and it was a great scare though when you see Rachel's body just fly down with the in the string or whatever. It was great. And then Lewis is like, oh, freaking out. And then you see Gage up there and just like his face and the uh, evil kid. I was always like, he's like Chucky. Yeah, fuck him. Just because he's evil and he's like killing everybody. Um, but yeah, and then he jumps down on Lewis. And yeah, and then he puts him out. Well, Lewis first puts Church down with the syringe and that drug or whatever kills them. And then when Lewis gets Gage with it, he's like, "No fair, Daddy. No fair. No fair, Daddy." It's just awesome. I love it. I could. Uh, Miko Hughes, great actor, man, and he was in so many great movies. Like, he was a great child actor. He never, I never found him annoying. Like, there's some kid actors that I find really annoying. Like Ellie in this movie, I found her like kind of annoying, not like too annoying, but like annoying enough. Um, but she wasn't too bad of an actress. So yeah, and then you get Lewis after he kills Gage, and then he goes and buries fucking Rachel's body. It's like what? Oh, and then yeah, Pascal was like, "What the like?" Basically, what the fuck are you doing? No, don't do that. The ground is sour. The ground is sour. Um, yeah, and he's like, oh, it'll be different this time. Like, okay, Lewis, you're so fucked up. Yeah, it'll be different. But yeah, and then he's like waiting for Rachel to come back in the kitchen. He's like playing solitaire with himself. And then she like comes in, and the special effects for that was fucking awesome too. Just how her eyes like all like gushing blood out of it, and like, and he's like, eh, whatever. Maybe I could fuck her in her eye socket. I don't know. Like what the fuck? You gotta be really fucked in the head. And that's what I wish they did more with this movie was get into the uh the, how just like fucked up Lewis gets like psychologically fucked up. I wish they got more into that with in the movie. It does in the novel, but anyways. And then she's like, "Oh, baby," and like kisses, and they're like kissing, and then she like grabs the butcher knife, and it's like that's how it ends, and it fades to black, and all you can hear is like him screaming. So he got it. He got it in the end. Good for her. Yeah, but I always like wondered like what the fuck happened to her? Like And but I love just how it like and Pet Sematary too. They kind of mention it, but yeah. Anyways, yeah, love this movie. So the characters, yeah, Fred Gwynn, best. Oh man, he's just so awesome in this movie. Like I said before, and he's best known for his roles in the 1960s sitcom Car 54, Where Are You? Uh, and he plays Herman Monster in The Monsters. Love that show growing up as a kid. That and Adam's Family and The Three Stooges. Fucking love those TV sitcoms. Um, he played the judge in My Cousin Vinny. Oh man, that was a great movie too. Joe Pesci, like any movie with Joe Pesci and is fucking hilarious. Love Joe Pesci. Yeah. Okay. Right? Him and Lethal Weapon. Uh, who else? What's her name? The girl who played Rachel. Yeah. Uh, Denise Crosby. She was in Star Trek Generation. That's how I know her from. And Zelda was played by uh, a man. I always thought it was a woman, and then I found out like a while back that his name is Andrew Habsack, Habsack. Um, yeah, I would never thought that, but Zelda man is creepy as fuck. Uh, yeah. Anyways, yeah, I'd say yeah, definitely. Fred Gwynn is my favorite character, and then Lewis, and then Miko. Um, uh, I think Miko was only 2 or 3 when he did this. So like for a 2 or 3 year old, like the kid has talent, man. Fuck, awesome. Um, yeah. So the special effects in this movie, they're good. Like the makeup and all that stuff is good. There's a couple things that I was just like, I don't know, it hasn't really aged too well, but the part where Lewis is um, taking Gage up to the Indian burial ground, um, and you see a couple like of those effects. I nothing special. Um, yeah, the music, like I said earlier, just eerie as fuck. Love the music in this movie. Um, yeah, the lighting is great. Yeah, so yeah, the overall success of this movie, its budget was $11.5 million. That's a fucking lot of money, man. And it did well though. It really did good. Box office $89.5 million. Fuck yeah, man. That's big. That was it's pretty big, you know. Anyways, and it won got 6 nominations and 1 win. I'm not too sure what the 1 win was, but it got like a it won something. Um, yeah, so would I recommend this movie? Oh, hells yeah, I recommend this movie. Fucking right I do. Um, how do I rate this movie? I rate it an 8. I give it an 8. It's a good movie. Alright, so on to Pet Sematary 2019, the remake. Eesh. I don't like this movie. No, not at all, man. Not at all. Perfect example of a good novel and a movie that they fucking ruined. Like, the cast is great. Like, everybody, the whole cast is fucking awesome, man. Like, good actors, really good actors. Like, yeah, it's just, what the fuck, man. Jason Clarke is a good actor. I like Jason Clarke. I don't even really know Amy Semitz. Her role as Rachel, I don't even really know her. I think she was only in a couple episodes of Stranger Things. I think that's where I know her from. And John Lithgow, man. Oh man, John fucking Lithgow. He's the fucking man. So basically, both Judds make the fucking movie in each movie. Like, come on, John Lithgow. He's a fucking legend, man. Uh, yeah, how can I not just mention like, well, like Jason Clarke, he's best known for his roles in Terminator Genesis. This guy is in so many movies, but the ones I know, like really, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, 2014, Lawless, Public Enemies, and Death Race are like the movies I mostly know Sean Clark from, or I mean Jason Clark. Sorry, Jason Clark. Um, Now John Lithgow, he's been in. Well, most people know him from Third Rock from the Sun. Come on, they did 6 seasons, I think, of that show as Harry. He's awesome, man. He's an awesome actor. He was in Dexter season 4, played the Trinity Killer. He was great in that, man. Like, I find John Lithgow plays the best as a villain. Like, oh man, he's so good. So fucking good. And convincing, man. Like, uh, his character in Cliffhanger, like when he played that villain, oh, it's probably like one of my favorite roles with John Lithgow. And he played in Ricochet with Denzel Washington. If nobody knows what movie I'm talking about, Ricochet with Denzel Washington and John Lithgow, go watch that fucking movie, man. Oh, it's like one of my favorite movies. It's so fucking good, man. I'm pretty. I don't know if it's Denzel Washington's first movie he was in, but it's like a really old one, and he looks really young in it. But go watch that movie. So fucking good. Yeah, and you know John Lithgow from uh, Harry and the Hendersons. I mean, come on, man. That movie's fucking well known on its own, and he was great in that movie. Like, yeah, he even played in Tales from a Crypt episode. He was in an episode of that. He was in Orange County with Jack Black. That was a good movie. It was funny. Um, yeah, so he was in tons of shit, man. Like, so back to the remake. I mean, uh, I don't like it. I'll just fucking say that. I don't fucking like it, man. And it's like, yeah, they did mix up a few things here and there, but like, it's just, And then like, okay, with Victor Pascal, it's like I don't have a problem if he's a different race, he's black or whatever. That has it just doesn't the it just didn't work. It just did not work, and that's not the reason why. His race has nothing to do with it. It's just his character, like the actor, like I don't really know him either. But it's just it did not work for me. And same with Zelda. She did not work for me whatsoever. She just looked like a fucking zombie from like Dawn of the Dead, the remake, or like one of those zombie movies. Like it just did not work for me. I it's like cheap fucking jump scares. That's what this whole movie is. Just a cheap fucking jump scare. That's what it is. And I don't know. I didn't like it. I did not fucking like it. And I kind of like how they switched roles. Like instead of Gage dying, it was Ellie that died. I mean, that little girl was a well fucking. She did a good job, and she wasn't annoying or anything. Jet Lawrence was great. Um, yeah, that's her name. GS GS Lawrence. I don't know. Anyways, I'll probably butcher her name, like I always do with a lot of people's names in movies. But yeah, she was good. But the thing is with this movie, like they didn't go completely like to like every scene by scene by scene by scene, just like the original Pet Cemetery. But they did pull a lot of shit. Well, I mean, like because it's compared to like they're doing like a adaptation from the book, which I understand. But I mean, like I don't know, just the way they executed everything's just sucks. It fucking sucks. Fuck you. It sucks. And great actors, great fucking actors. You know what they should have done was make it a prequel. Get all those actors and like even if it was a family that or like even like Judd's like early years, like in the book and the first film, how Judd was talking about like his when he was younger. That's what they should have done. They should have made a prequel to uh, Pet Cemetery, and instead of making like the exact same movie basically all over again. I mean, it sucked. It fucking sucked. Anyways, yeah, John Lithgow, Jason Clark, that little girl, Jet Lawrence, I guess. They're great. Um, even Zelda, like I was saying before, sucked in this fucking movie. But the one thing that got me though, it was a cheap jump scare. But when she falls down that fucking like where you bring up food and stuff, like the conveyor thing or whatever the fuck it's called, like a elevator thing. Um, that scared the fuck out of me, man. Like it did get me. I give it that. I give you that. You got me in that part. But then it's like, oh man, it's just so fucking dumb. And it's like she kills Rachel and she buries her body and then she comes back and she's all fucked up. And then they kill Jason Clark and then they go bury him and he comes back. And Gage is still in the fucking car. He was left there for what, like a full day? Like the kid probably would have died, from heat exhaustion. I'm like, I don't know, it's just fucking stupid. Like the whole fucking movie. Anyways, uh, yeah, and then they're like coming back like zombies, like coming we're gonna be a zombie family and just live here. Holy fuck, it's stupid. Anyways, and then the kid's like in the car seeing his family come back. The kid's probably like, oh fuck, I'm a goner. Like it's so stupid. Anyways, well that's my rant, and that was my first impression was fuck this movie. Special effects, uh, they weren't that great. Characters were great. Like the actors were great. Yeah, so it did do good. I know that it did really good. I do like the taglines to the movies. Sometimes dead is better. What's his name? Judge Fred. Don't go down that road. Don't go down that road. I love it. Oh fuck. Um, yeah. So the budget was 21 million for this piece of shit, and it made a lot of money though. 113.1 million dollars. That is a lot. Um, but yeah, what a piece of shit fucking movie. Do I recommend this movie? Fuck no. I don't. Maybe if you're just like, okay, let's see, let's compare it. Let's compare the movie, like from the original, from the book to the original to this piece of shit. Sure, put it on and watch it and laugh at it, and just be like, ah, cringe. All right. Um, what do I rate this movie as? I give it a fucking four. A four. A fucking four, man. That's, yeah, I give it a four. All right, and that's all I have for you. So, all right, take care. Have a good one. Peace.